it's Kelly Lativola here, and today we are going to be doing some no-line coloring with the Feathers and Florals set, and then the greeting is from the bold banners. So every time one of these solid image stamps comes out, I always love the flowers and I want to use them, but no-line coloring is really hard for me. So I'm using Lake House, Hayride, and Shell Pink today. They are paler colors because I'm going to be coloring over them with Copics. So I'm going to stamp the largest one in the Lake House, which I just love. It's got to be, it probably is my favorite ink from W+9. I just love that color. So I'm stamping those out. I'm not masking any of them because I am not concerned about the flowers laying on top of each other. The very small amount that they do actually lay on top of each other, the colors didn't really mix, but also, I don't know, I guess I felt like it gave it like a tissue paper flower look, like you could see through one into the other, so I was totally good with that. But anyway, the colors that I picked are more pale. If you don't have all of the different colors, you could stamp in a light gray. That would also, any pale color will also work to kind of achieve this look. I'm just going to go in with these smaller flowers and fill in any areas. Actually, I have this one, which is the medium sized, I don't know, smallest, that's what we're going to go with. And I'm just going to fill in any areas so that the right hand side of the card looks full. You're probably asking yourself, Kelly, it's January, why are you doing a floral card? And the reason is because it is literally 6 degrees outside of my house right now and I need some spring. I need it. So here we are. I'm going to start with my lightest color. When you're doing no-line coloring, it's really important that you reserve those lines that are already there. So you can see in this particular set, there's a lot of negative space. That's what's breaking the petals up. We want to keep those lines intact because if you don't, you're just going to have a blobby circle. That means you need to go in with a really light hand. Use just the tip of the marker. The tip of your marker should be, you should barely be able to feel it on the page. It should be such a light hand. Sometimes this takes some practice. Don't get too discouraged. There's a couple of them that were super thin that even I kind of went out of the line. But as long as you reserve it on the outside, the furthest edge, if you get a little mushy in the middle, it's not that big of a deal because they all join there, so it would naturally be darker anyway. So not a huge deal. Just make sure you're reserving those lines as much as you can. I'm going to go in now with my darkest color, and really for each line, for each petal, I'm really only doing one line of color. If it happens to be a particularly wide petal, I might do 2, but that's about it. I'm not doing a ton of the darkest color because, again, I don't want it to get muddy. I want to be able to reserve those white lines so that my flower has some structure. These flowers reminded me a lot of like the starburst flowers that they have, where they naturally have that white running through them. And so that's why I picked the blue, because that's what I see in my head when I think of those flowers, is blue. This is kind of a play on like your primary colors. It is a red, blue, and yellow card, but just a little different, maybe a little bit softer. So once I have everything blended out, that's what I'm doing with my lightest color here. And like I said, I'm not being careful not to color over the other flowers. I don't care if they intermingle. I'm perfectly good with that. I feel like I said, like that tissue paper flower feel. I'm good with that. I'm going to show you the red combination. I'm sorry. First, we're going to do the yellow. I'm missing steps here, folks. So this is the same yellow that I used for the other flowers, this yellow combination. And for the center, I'm just doing dots of the lightest color, and then I'm adding half moons of the next 2 darkest, just so that it has a little bit of texture in the middle. And that's it. Super simple. So what I was saying is I'm just going to show you the red combination. I'm not going to show you the coloring of the red flower because I literally did the same thing that I did with the blue one. If you feel like you need to see that again, go back. It's totally cool. You can watch it as many times as you want. That's why we put this content on YouTube, so you guys can watch as many times as you need to. So for the yellow ones, I am showing you this one because it's slightly different. The shape of the petal is slightly different. I'm still being careful about where those petals meet in the center. I don't want to completely have the super dark center, but when I'm doing the flicking for this one, I'm leaving more of a rounded edge because that's the shape of the petals. Anytime you're coloring something, you want to go with the shape of the object that's already there. So I just, used those 3 colors for these because they are smaller. There wasn't a need for a 4th color, but then I'm going to bring in, it's like a peachy orange. I thought it would play well with the other red colors that I had used for the center. So this is the whole thing that's colored. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment now. I'm using black dye ink from W+9. It's a good crisp ink to stamp sentiments with. The kindness stamp that you see me using here is actually 2 different stamps. You can use kind by itself. I always double mount mine because I feel like it gives me a better, like they're more even. I don't trust myself to stamp them by themselves. And then lastly, well, it's kind of lastly, second to last step, I'm going to go in and add just some white gel pen to the darkest parts of the flower near the center, just for a little bit of added interest and to kind of make the card my own. And then the last step is to add some clear Wink of Stella. I only added it to the red and blue flowers and just to the edges. I didn't want to cover up the white gel pen that I put down. So all in all, not a bad outing for the no line coloring. Still something that I'm practicing at. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, maybe learned something. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.